Hi everyone, it's Eleanor here from Hairdresser's Journal. Welcome back to our virtual week. Today we are joined by James Earnshaw, who is Amika's artistic ambassador and our Hairdresser's Journal Midlands Hairdresser of the Year. So today he's going to be demoing some braiding and plaiting for us. So if you've got any questions for him, please do send them through. We're just waiting for him now. He should be with us any moment now. As I said, welcome back to our virtual week. We're going to be doing lots more of these videos throughout the week, so do tune in to Hairdresser's Journal on Instagram, and you can view the whole schedule on our website and on our Instagram as well. So please do check back. Thanks to everyone who's joining. It's great to see you. James should be with us any moment. So as I was saying, if you've got any questions for him, anything to do with braiding, plaiting, please do pop them in the Q&A below and we'll ask him for you. And also for these sessions as well, you can also claim back CPD points, so through VCTC. So for every webinar that you're watching, you can claim back those points. You can find out more information on Hairdresser's Journal and also on our Instagram as well. So make sure you check in and see what's going on our Instagram. We've got lots more coming up this week. You can see the whole schedule. We've got loads more coming, so let us know what you're enjoying as well. James should be with us any moment. I think he might just be here now. Here we are. Any minute now.
Hi.
Hi James, how are you?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
Good, yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us this evening.
My pleasure.
It's great to have you. So you're going to be showing us through some braiding and plaiting this evening, aren't you?
Yes, so hi everyone. My name's James Earnshaw. I am Amika's artistic ambassador and current Hairdresser's Journal Midlands Head of the Year. And yeah, I'm going to do some braiding for you guys. Now, I know there's probably a lot of lives going on right now, but I hope this one will be a nice fun one. So grab a glass of wine and watch me braid.
Brilliant.
So I've got my blockhead ready that I pre-prepared earlier. So please ask as many questions as you want. Totally here for that. Please be interactive. Ask me whatever you guys want. Okay? So what I'm going to do for you guys is I had a little think, had plenty of time on my hands, and I kind of thought I would do a rope twist braid for you guys. The reason I decided to do that one is because it's pretty easy, and also it's probably the braid that I would use the most when doing kind of styling and hair up. You can use it for kind of bridal, more softer looks, but you can also vamp it up if you're doing shoots or something more editorial. So it's an amazing braid for kind of every spectrum. Sound good?
Brilliant, that sounds great.
Cool. So what I'm going to do is I've pre-done kind of a quarter of it. I'm going to do obviously all of the right hand side for you guys. It is going to be quite difficult for me to do all of the angles good to camera on a block, but I'm going to do my best. So if you guys, are you going to save the video after for them?
Yes, we'll save the video, so that will be on our stories and I think on YouTube as well, so you can watch them back again if you want to rewatch. Yes,
there's plenty of opportunity for you to pause it, because I think when I'm braiding, I'm always like pausing it, rewinding it, pausing it, rewinding it. Cool. So the rope twist braid is working by taking two strands of hair and intertwining them, okay? Now, when doing this, it took me a long time to come up with the perfect way of it not interlocking, or sorry, it not coming undone, because you twist two pieces together and then all of a sudden it's unraveling in your hands. So it's by interlocking always to the right hand side and then crossing right over left that you do this. Might sound a bit confusing, but as I go along, I'll show you. Okay? So what I've done on the blockhead so far is I've just pre-prepared by blasting in a little bit of mousse. I've used Amika's plus size mousse, which is this one. And I've just blast dried it in just so the hair has a little bit of grip. I think hi Jordana. I think sometimes when you're trying to braid and learn to braid, if you don't have enough product in there, the hair can be quite slippy. And then kind of the sections are everywhere, it's falling out. So don't be afraid to pre-prepare with lots and lots of product. to get that hold in there, okay? Cool. So I've gone all the way along the scalp here. And then through this back section, I'm going to first of all show you, I'm going to lift my block up. I'm going to first of all show you how to do it not against the scalp, because I always think it's best to learn not against the scalp first and then onto the scalp after.
Great.
So, does that angle look good? Can you see?
Yeah, I think we can all see. For anyone in the comments, if you can't see, because I understand the comments are coming up on the lower part of your screen, you should just be able to tap the screen. They should minimise, so hopefully that will give you a better picture of what James is doing.
We love the comments, don't we?
We do,
I feel like I'm talking to someone finally for the first time in like 5 days. Don't send them off.
No, it's good to do these lives. It's good fun to kind of catch up and see what everyone's doing. So thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. So, okay, so we're going to turn both sides of hair. We're going to twist to the right, okay? So that way, yeah? Then what we're going to do is twist right over the top of left and bring it back to the same position, okay? So keeping my tension, what's really, really important is to keep my fingers very close to the hair. You don't want to be down here. You want to be very, very close to the hair to give you that control, okay? So just keep twisting to the right, right over left, twisting, 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 twisting that way, and then just crossing it back to the center. But can you see how keeping it really nice and close to my hands is keeping me that control? Yeah? So I'm continuing all the way down. Now, I thought I would definitely show you how it looks on its own first, because even if you can't master it against the scalp, it's really, really good if you're doing it on a high ponytail, or even if you want to do a bun, you can just do a rope twist, twist it around and pin it. You don't have to just do this technique against the scalp. So I'm just continuing right over the left, right over left, until I reach the bottom.
Brilliant, it's looking good. Jordana is asking, who taught you to braid, James?
Jordana, many people taught me to braid. I think I learned a few braids from Effie Davis, as everyone knows, is a braiding legend, absolute legend. And just from sitting at home practicing, I think the thing is, I think now more than ever, we have more time on our hands. So if there's something that if there's a braid you've always wanted to know, now is the time. Yeah. Don't be afraid to just try it. And I think I always get models and clients to come in, and I'm always practicing new things. And I think it's just the best way. I think hairdressing's so amazing because you can always polish up on your skills. Brilliant. So that's how the rope twist looks, not against the scalp, okay? What I'm going to do is just secure this with a piece of elastic. Sorry, with a clear elastic, and we'll come back to this when we've completed on the other side, okay? I'm going to show you really close up. Can you see?
Wow, looks great.
So it's really, really, it's a lot more 3D than a regular braid. And this hasn't been pulled out yet or anything like that. So I'm going to show you now how to do this side, not against the scalp, and then we're going to put the sides together.
Brilliant.
So,
James, how would you go about prepping the hair before doing a braid? Is there anything in particular that you do to help kind of keep the braid in place? Or someone's asking about flyaways as well.
Yes, I mean, for me, anyone who knows me knows I actually quite love a bit of flyaway, but I think if you want more control, make sure you prep with mousse or something that's got a bit of bite and a bit of grip to it. The hair shouldn't feel silky and soft. So, you know, like second or third day hair with a bit of product in it is great. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to put onto my fingers, well, I'm going to put it onto my hands first. I'm going to use a product called Heist, which is like quite a soft texturizing product. So I'm going to put that into the palm of my hands, warm that up, and then put it onto the hair before I braid. What that's going to do is help to catch any flyaways or any baby hairs, or, you know, if someone has really fine hair and it's very slippy, it just helps you to catch those hairs One thing I would say is girls that have false nails have an advantage because you can take your sections with your nails, whereas I have horrendous nails, so I don't have that luxury.
Top tip if you've got long nails.
I know, literally. So what I'm doing now is I've just put that product through. I'm going to take a section. Now I'm taking a diagonal section here. I'm going to split this into two. Okay? And then I'm going to twist. Let me just move that. Cool. So I'm going to twist that both sides to the right, like I did not onto the scalp. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Cool. So both sides to the right and bringing that back right over the left, okay? Then I'm going to pick up here, grab that together and twist. Someone is asking to move the doll a bit. Like that. So, yeah, is that better actually?
Yeah, that might be better. Let us know if that's better for you guys as well.
Cool. So then I've twisted that side that's been brought together, and then I'm going to repeat that on this side. Now, what is helping me is I have that product in my hands, so I've got control over the hair. As I pick up the section, it's kind of staying because I've got grip and hold in the hair, okay? So now I'm going to bring that right over the top of left and back to the center again. I'm going to grab that, another piece with that section, and start twisting. You can use a comb if you want to take each section with a comb. I like hair that looks a little bit less forced, if you like. So I like it to be a bit more softer. But if you want this to be clean, are you twisting to? Yeah, it probably looks like it's like I'm twisting to my left. So it probably sounds like I'm doing the exact opposite of what I'm saying. But always think when you're doing it, both sides clockwise, and then, or both sides right and then right over left. Okay, always that way.
Got it.
No matter what way you're looking at the screen, because sometimes that can be confusing.
James, someone has asked, it's actually our very own Akeisha Reed. She has asked,
Oh, hey.
Where is she gone? Just finding her question. She has asked, where has it gone? James, what are your top 3 Amika products for braiding curly hair?
So they have a product called Curl Corpse Gel. That's an amazing product for curly hair in general, but putting that in gives your hair a little bit of control and hold together. So that's a really nice base for braiding. Again, Heist, the paste that I've used, is also amazing to catch the hairs. And then they have a product called Roughness, which is a gel. But the word gel seems a bit old school, but oh my God, the best gel you'll ever use. It's metallic as well, so it looks great on your hand for Instagram. Not that that's important, but you know. So, okay, guys, keeping my tension as I work down. Yeah, you could say twist both sides the same way, but if you do twist them to the left, it's very hard to twist. Your rope twist is a little bit offset. It's very important to do both sides that way. Okay?
Brilliant.
So keeping that tension, back over to the center, and then I'm grabbing a piece again. See how I'm using lots of tension and I'm making sure I really, really control the hair.
It's all about keeping the tension there to keep it secure and in place.
Yes. Some braids, I think you do have to be a little bit softer with your tension, and some you have to be a little bit firmer. But in this instance, don't be afraid to pull the hair. I mean, my blockhead has no feelings, so I'm all good.
Can be as rough as you like.
Yeah.
In what braids would you use more of a softer tension? Is there any, for example, that you would do slightly less?
Yeah, so when doing something like the figure of 8 braid, that involves taking 2 pieces of hair and almost wrapping one piece over. If you pull that too tight, you almost pull it offset and you end up with a different type of braid. So yeah, and I think that's one thing I've learned over the time and just practicing is hand position and finger position for braiding is so important. So see how my fingers are so close, and then I'm making sure that as I twist, I'm keeping the hair twisted from the root, and then I'm going back again, and that's really important. So you just kind of get to know what works for what braid, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just move her as I come. Cool.
Great, looks good.
Thank you. Alex, I'm expecting you to know how to do this by the end of the video as well, you know.
Oh, God.
So.
I definitely need to get some practice in. My braiding isn't the best, so I'm glad I'm learning a lot with you.
Yes, you look like you have good hair for braiding, so.
Oh, if you want to do my hair anytime, that's fine.
Exactly. After quarantine, of course.
Absolutely.
So again, making sure I'm twisting, and then when I need a little bit more product, I'm just popping that product onto the hair. That's why I've kept the product here on my hand, so I don't have to let go of the hair to add the product, okay? So again, that's a really good tip. Get some product on your hand so you can just access the product whenever you need it. Okay, so now we've reached the nape. I'm twisting both sides again, and then this is where we're working not against the scalp. Let me just lift her up now I'm at the end so you don't lose that. Okay, so here I am, twisting both sides to the right again, right over left. Does anyone else have any questions for me, guys? Keep them coming.
I think we had a couple. I'm just going to double check. Can you remind us the name of the product that you're using?
Yes, so the product that I'm using is Heist, which is this one. Ooh, look at it in the light, I'm such an influencer. Yes, so using a tiny bit of that onto my hands to give myself that control. Hey, Steph. And then I'm just working that all the way down, okay?
Brill.
So what I'm going to do after I've done that is I'm going to start to really exaggerate and pull out this texture. I'm going to show you how it can look completely different just by kind of pulling it out, okay?
Great.
So, just tying off with an elastic now. Yes, Yaz, I bet you do. So, there's my rope twist, okay? Hey, Kate. So, cool. So that's the basic braids done, okay? Then what we're going to do is I'm going to start to dress this out and pull it out, and you'll see the shape expand, okay? Now, when we pull out, I see a lot of people, oh, I got our back down, a lot of people pulling out from here first, okay? You want to pull out from the mid-lengths and ends first, okay? Because you have a lot more space here to start to exaggerate. He is so tight and pulled in that you can't really kind of go for it. So what I'm going to do is just move her back up and start from the bottom. I'm really pulling that out. And as you can see, hopefully, I'm really going for it with how much I pull out this braid. You don't have to overthink it or be too careful. You can really use your fingertips to get in there and open up that braid, okay? And you can see how instantly it just starts to look more like softer, a lot more undone the more you pull it out. So don't be afraid to take the time to go in and really loosen, okay?
Awesome, it looks good. James, have you got any tips for entering the British Hairdressing Awards?
Yes, the British Hairdressing Awards. Yeah, I would say don't give up is a good tip, because it's very rare the first time you enter or the first time you're going to get through or win. I just think with British, I think it's about taking your time to really home in on the hair that you want to show the judges. So, for example, if you, for example, specialise in cutting, don't feel like you have to do loads and loads of styling to try and fit in with the mould. Do what you're best at. Because when I first started entering, I was like, I need to do loads of crazy haircuts. And I did do that to try and fit in with the mould, but it doesn't work because you're best at what you do best. So play to your strengths, I would say. And also, when you're doing it, just make the girl or the guy look the best they can. I think we get very caught up in being like, let's shave a panel here or do this or do that. Whereas I think sometimes simple and beautiful is the best.
Yeah, keeping it simple.
Yeah. So see how I'm just really taking my time, really, really pulling this out. And the more you pull it out, the better. And it looks a lot fuller. So you can see before we're quite clean. And then here we're a lot more pulled out.
Amazing.
So again, just going to pull out this right-hand side now, starting from the bottom. And almost like thinking about, it's more of a massage through here to expand and exaggerate the shape. So rather than like tearing apart, if that makes sense.
So you're kind of like running it through almost like with your fingers rather than pulling.
Yes, so fingertips.
Fingertips.
Yeah, and another tip as well, like with anything kind of when it comes to dressing long hair or styling, and I always say this when I'm on stage and stuff, we get so hyped up with like brushes and combs and everything like that. Don't be afraid to use your hands and get in there and really pull things apart and really manipulate waves and hair. And I think we forget how good of a tool just our hands themselves are. Just lower her back. So again, just keeping on going here. Also to start, so completely forgot to say, obviously I went from a centre parting, but I went with like a kind of zigzag section. I didn't go too clean, because what you don't want is a really flat, clean parting on that crown, okay? So bear that in mind, that you don't need to do perfect sectioning for the start of this, okay? What you also can do as well, if you're doing a shoot or something like that, where you want more of the detail to be at the front, you could do this technique the reverse. So you could tilt the model's hair upside down and braid that way. And then you've got more detail here.
Awesome.
Tip for you guys.
Great tip. Issy is asking, how do you keep the ends in so nicely without it coming loose?
The ends of here. So again, I just secured with clear elastic, and then I'm going to pin this in to create like a kind of like a crown shape through there after. So again, what I would say is just make sure you've got product on the hair so it kind of has a nice control as you work down. Thanks, Jordana, and I didn't pay Jordana to say that. Jordana does know. Everyone knows me. Jordana are very good friends. Okay, so now I've pulled this out. I'm going to make it a little bit more fluffier than you would necessarily want on a client, but I always think as hairstylists it's fun to see how far you can go. So I'm going to use Undone Texture Spray, which is this. This is my absolute favourite. Really nice dry texture spray. And then, again, I'm going to go in and just almost like massage areas. And again, with you mentioning like BHA and British Hairdressing Awards, it's those flyaways and things like that that really stand out on imagery. Not necessarily that a client would want to walk around with fluffy hairs everywhere, but you know, if you look at the archives from BHA over the last couple of years, that soft texture has really been a popular kind of one. So now I'm just going to take a small hair grip. And then again, it's completely up to you how you would do this. You could come in and you could actually bring it up to the middle and flatten. I'm just going to come through and I'm going to cross them over. And I'm going to hook, pin and push, okay? Now, you don't need to open the hair grips. Ever really. Keep them closed because it's a lot stronger. I think the only reason we open them is because we're told in college that's what we need to do. So keep them closed, and then also you don't have to put them in your mouth or anything like that. And then I'm just hooking the end of the rope braid into the base, and you can see how now you've got a continual shape. Really nice. And like you can see why I love this so much is because you can really soften it and make it bridal or pretty. You can make it festival, you can make it editorial. whatever you kind of want, really.
Yeah, there's so many different ways that you can take it with the styling and pulling bits out. No, it looks great.
Yeah.
I think everyone's really loving it as well from the comments. I'm just looking through for more of your questions, so do bear with me.
Yes.
Helen is asking, do you pull the hair the opposite way to create the edgy roughness?
Yes. So I'm thinking of it of almost like if you want that really rough, gritty texture, that's when you go against the hair and you can really, really pull it out. And I think this is the look, again, that sometimes if you're doing a shoot or if you're doing something like that and you're a bit scared to really, really pull the hair out, pull it out as much as this, take your shot, then when you've got that picture, just really go in and then take it to the next level. Same through Instagram as well, Instagram pictures. Those of you who follow me knows that I like lots of like fluffy texture, and I think sometimes I get my safe picture where I know that the hair looks fine.
Yeah.
Oh, hi Warren, how are you? And then once you've got that shot, take it another step further. And it might be too much, but you only know once you've tried it, you know. To me, whenever I get my best shot is when I've taken a risk and really, really gone in and really exaggerated that texture. So I'm just continuing to take the time, and you can see how it's almost like the same amount of time to do the braid as it is to pull it out. It's not like do the braid and spend 2 seconds pulling it out, you know. It's kind of equal amount of time, I would say. So just making sure I've pulled it all out. What you could do is you could bring these. Did someone ask where I get my small grips from? They're from, it's actually worn off, but YS Park. I got them from there. They were quite expensive, but they're so, so strong and so small that they're really, really good. So what you could do here is see how we can see the parting from each side. We can bring the two together. I can grab that left-hand side, hook and push, and there you can't see where it starts or finishes.
Awesome. That's really good.
Yeah. So, last step now. I'm going to get my hairdryer, which matches your outfit and lipstick so well.
So cool.
I just feel like I need to see a tutorial of you drying your hair with this hairdryer and that outfit.
Looks great.
So I'm using Amika Vandal powder, which is amazing. Spraying that all the way through the hair. Again, not being scared to go for it. Then I'm taking my hairdryer on cold air and I'm just kind of blasting it out to kind of exaggerate those fluffy textures even more, okay? So again, I'm going in the opposite way through the hair and just helping pull out any hairs. And it's hard to see on camera, but you can see how it's just bringing out those flyaways. Obviously she doesn't have a hairline because it's a block. But it's amazing to be honest, if you're doing a model or something like that and she has a weaker hairline and you can't get it in the braid or there's a bit of breakage, which all models, you know, you never know what they're going to turn up with, then use it to your advantage. That technique is great because you might not necessarily want them to be there, but it gives like a really soft dimension. So if the baby hairs are there, then use them to your advantage, you know?
Absolutely. Kizzy is asking, how do you keep the edges neat and not baggy when you are pulling them out?
So again, it's key because it's been twisted so tight. I think some of us think when we're braiding, because we want it to be loose, we need to kind of almost like braid loosely. I always recommend do it clean and tight first, get the technique in and then really pull apart. Whereas if you've just kind of limply braided your hair and then you're pulling it apart, it then comes so far away from your head. But because I made sure my hands were so close to the hair, it enabled me to twist tightly, get the tension, get the technique, and then I could really exaggerate from there. It's almost like a haircut. Like, you would put the base in first, make sure you've got that clean length in, and then you would soften anything like that afterwards. You wouldn't just start softening like hair at the start. The product I used to finish was Vandal, which is powder, dust, and again, I'm just using that over those last few hairs to bring out that last bit of texture.
Amazing. It's really bringing it out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, I think it's one of those where you, whenever I first start showing this, they're like, oh, just 2 braids. But it doesn't really look kind of like you've done that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
We've got a little bit more time for a couple more questions. So if you've got any further questions for James, do drop them in.
And you guys, if you want to try any of these Amika products, I've just posted a giveaway with Amika. There's a little plug there. We're giving away just 2 hairdressers. We're doing away a giveaway where we're giving them 6 products that they want to try. So check out the page. Little plug for you guys there. But I thought it would tie in well because you guys can see me use the products live and then you can get a chance to win them, which is always a bonus.
Yeah, no, it's great to see like what you're using live. Amy is asking, do you ever use Tantro for grip on the hair or edge control?
Do I ever use what?
Tantro for grip on the hair or edge control.
It totally depends on the hair type and the hair texture that I'm working on. It depends. If I was working on like more like textured hair or afro hair, then yes, I would use something to really, really control those edges or something like that. But yeah, completely depends on the hair type and texture.
Brilliant. Oh, amazing. Well, love the finished look.
So I'll get her to do a little turn for you, look.
Do a little twirl.
So you can see how we did 2 rope twists, making sure we twisted both sides to the right, crossed right over left, and then brought them back and pinned them onto each other and really, really pulled them out. Again, what's important is keeping your tension, keeping your hands close, and then I crisscross the parting. So you see how it's a little bit softer. It's not dead set in position. But again, this look you can do back to front. You can really play around with it. But definitely when we're allowed out, this would look great for summer.
Absolutely. Looks brilliant. Well, James, thank you so much for having us. I think we're out of time now, but
yeah.
If you guys want to watch this video again, we'll be saving it to our stories and it will also be on YouTube. And you can see much more that we've got coming up tomorrow for our virtual week. So do tune back in. James, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks, guys. Sending love to everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.